Hello YouTube, this is Kaito JR here, and I'm here to do another review on chapter 75 of the Ajin demi-human manga entitled Leap into the Unknown. So everybody, this chapter right here has a lot of information about what our Ajin's made of. And Ikuya Ogura is pretty much a main figure in this chapter, where we get, well, first of all, we see this crazy part of the chapter in the beginning where we saw this flashback in the beginning of the chapter that took place in 28,000 BCE, which means before Common Era, not before Christ. No. They tried to avoid saying Christ due to some religious issues, I suppose. So yeah, they say before Common Era here. Oh yeah, 28,000 BCE, that's when the flashback took place, where we see these early humans. One of the early humans was on the floor where it was like a snowstorm everywhere, and when the early humans, like I said, was on the floor, he died. But yeah, we see one of them die, and it seems that this early human is an Ajin. To be honest with you, I kind of called it, but that video that I made when I called that, yeah, I kind of deleted it because I thought it was a stupid video. I thought it didn't really make much sense. Like, why did I even bring up all these things about in the past? But no, I was right. Long ago, Ajins did exist. Like, it didn't just exist when Ken Nagai was born. No, yeah. Ikuya Ogura even said here, this existed ever since 13.8 billion years ago. That's when demi-humans and their invisible black matter have been developed. That's when it all started, 13.8 billion years ago. That's where it all started right there. 13.8 billion years ago, that's when all matter started to develop around the universe, because back then there was nothing. There really was just nothing, just complete nothingness, and I guess some energy just around like the universe where it's still nothingness, just oblivion. And then something happened. Something happened that formed the Big Bang. I guess all these matters start to, all the energy, energy then converted into matter when tons of energy started to collide with each other. Fluctuations start to rise and fall crazily. Like, they started to, you know what I mean, the fluctuation started to go nuts, and tons of energies collided with each other to create matter, which, like I said, created the Big Bang. And that's how the universe was developed right there, and all the planets started to form as well. And Earth started to develop, but that happens much after that. Like, after the Big Bang occurred, like, it doesn't start when the Earth starts to like develop. No, that takes a really long time. Like, yeah, because the Earth, like, for one, the Earth still had to harden up from all the lava, I believe. Yeah, I don't know all about that stuff, but yeah, that's what happened. The Earth started to have to cool down first before life can even exist there, and water as well has to develop there as well. And alright, so yeah, that's how all the invisible black matter developed. It was all back then, 13.8 billion years ago. And Ikuya Ogura also states that, well, yeah, this young boy who picked Ogura up from last chapter, chapter 74.5, he knew who Ikuya Ogura was. He says he followed his studies, his books, and he's the reason why he wanted to pursue science, I believe. Yes, it is science, some sort of science thing that he wanted to pursue, all because of Ikuya Ogura inspired him. I mean, I don't blame him. I'm pretty much inspired by Ikuya Ogura on the things he said, on the amazing things he always says all the time about Ajins. I mean, that's a really great guy. So I wouldn't blame him to be inspired by him. Well, yes, he says how, alright, you want to know what demi-humans came from, like why they exist? Well, demi-humans, they came from the human heart, is what he says. Either that, he says invisible black matter, or demi-humans, no, invisible black matter, yeah, that came out of nowhere 13.8 billion years ago when the universe was developed. And yes, and after that, he says demi-humans were created from the heart, the human heart, right here. So something must have happened with the human heart that, okay, I don't know, Ikuya, he doesn't explain on what he means by this. He just says, oh, demi-humans, they're from the human heart. That's all there is to it. Okay, so yeah, I hope next chapter, whenever that comes out, I'll do a review on it, of course. But yeah, next chapter, we're gonna have to get from Ikuya Ogura on what he means by when he said, yes, the Ajins, they were created from the human heart, by the human heart. What do you mean? So then somebody get a bunch of human hearts and form them into, just like crush them up and just form them to demi-humans? I don't know what he means by that. I mean, we're gonna have to. He needs to explain that a bit more, but we don't get it here, so we're gonna have to wait next chapter. Like I just said, I don't know. He might still continue to be even more cryptic, like he usually is. I mean, he didn't even explain what he means back then with Tosaki when he was explaining to demi-humans about that to him, and he didn't really explain much to him. At the time, he says, "Oh, demi-humans, they were created by a source of." Well, no, they are an unknown substance that defies the logic of the universe. I mean, that is true. They do defy the logic of the universe. To be honest with you, Ajins, they can create a substance of invisible black matter that shouldn't even exist in this universe to begin with, because he says 13.8 billion years ago they were created there, and they should not still even be here to begin with. They should have just left the universe, or just, I guess, stayed, or just maybe just that matter could have just died out, but somehow it made its way all the way here to the present day. I don't know exactly what else is there to say, because Ogura doesn't really reveal much on what he means by demi-humans were created by the human heart. That's it. We don't get an explanation on how is that the case, how is that to be. We don't know. We're gonna have to get more next chapter, but we do find more stuff about Ikuya Ogura. I mean, he says he used to have a son who died at age 8, I believe. Yeah, he was 8 years. His son was 8 years old when he died. He also gives a reveal how, yes, my 8-year-old boy used to give me these brand of cigarettes. I think there were 7 9s. I think yeah, these cigarettes. I had already explained about them before, but yeah, these Ikuya Ogura has his favorite brand of cigarettes that his 8-year-old son used to buy him when he was still alive. During Father's Day, he would go to this vending machine, get the cigarettes that were at the bottom, which is the reason why his 8-year-old son used to get those type of cigarettes for him, his dad, because they were the easiest to get. They were at the bottom, so he can just like reach it down and just get them, and yeah, just give it to his father, because he was pushing the numbers on which cigarettes to get from the vending machine. The numbers were at the bottom, which was the easiest for his 8-year-old son to press, so he just get that and get the cigarettes, give it to his father, and that's Ikuya's present for Father's Day. Well, something happened. I mean, his son, Ikuya says, yeah, my 8-year-old son, 8-year-old boy, he smack dab into this utility pole and died, and that's all it took to kill him. He was 8 years old when he died. Yeah, pretty heavy stuff there. I mean, that was pretty intense. I did not expect that at all. I mean, I actually thought Ikuya's son was still alive, but then when I read, yeah, now he died. Oh, damn, it's kind of heavy stuff right there. I mean, I honestly did not expect that. I honestly didn't even expect Ikuya to say any of these things. I really like okay, 13.8 billion years ago, visible black matter and Ajis, I guess, at the same time were born. I mean, I didn't expect them to say that too. So I didn't expect them to say any of these things, like human hearts. Like, what the hell is that all about? Of course, we're gonna figure this all out next chapter when that comes out, so Ikuya can expand on more of this, or just chapter after that. We don't know for sure. Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait upon that when we get that. So yeah, that's interesting. No, Ikuya used to have a kid who unfortunately died. We didn't get the kid's name. I guess it's not important since he's no longer a character since he's dead. So yes, and we also don't get these people's name right here. The people who picked up Ikuya Ogura, this kid who was inspired by Ikuya to pursue science, and this other guy driving a car. We don't get their names, but. Wait, so yeah, of course, like Ikuya says, yeah, everything that happens is all decided by the universe at the end. Like, yeah, 13.8 billion years ago, when all the matter was developing from all the energy from the Big Bang, they devolved into atoms and then into molecules and then the entire universe, which developed planets as well. And then the humanity and the cigarettes. I hate to smoke, but my son gave them to me during Father's Day, so now I have to smoke them because he's dead, and that's the only thing I have left for him to remember by. So yes, that's what Ikuya was explaining. That everything is decided by. Well, no, actually, yeah, Ikuya, he doesn't believe in fate. He said in this chapter he doesn't believe in fate, but something did happen all those years ago, 2.8 billion years ago, that developed invisible black matter, the stuff that Ajins can create. Even the kid asked, wait, so how are Ajins able to create these invisible black matter? So you say, like, invisible black matter is not from this universe, then where is it from? Why is it that Ajins can create them? Like, what's going on here? Like, Ikuya doesn't explain. He just says, like I said, Ajins were created from the human heart. That's what he says, from the human heart. Okay, so yeah, some really fascinating stuff is really happening here with Ajin demi manga in general. I mean, Ikuya says how, yeah, it really is fascinating stuff. I don't know. I mean, the human heart, that's where all invisible black matter and Ajins are from. That's what he says. Yes, let's see. Yeah, we're gonna figure this more out next chapter. I promise you all about that. But we're gonna have to continue on with other stuff in this chapter with Ko Nakano and Reiji Akiyama, where we still see them. They're still trying to evacuate some of these civilians, like try to get them away from Sato's IBM flood phenomenon thing. Yeah, and the anti-demi-human special forces are still there as well, helping Ko and Reiji fight off against the horde of IBMs that were created by Sato's flood phenomenon. And yes, we also still don't see Ken Nagai and Kaito anywhere. I mean, of course, those two are still hiding away from the flood. And Ko Nakano is, I guess, currently trying to train Reiji how to shoot a gun, because somehow Reiji doesn't even know how to shoot a gun, even though he's a fireman. But I guess firemen, their job isn't to really use firearms. Their job is to take out fire, and, you know, just put out fire and save lives. That's all their job is to do, not to use firearms or anything like that. So yeah, that's not Reiji's forte, but right now Ko has to teach Reiji how to use guns in order for him to be useful. And right now the anti-demi-human special forces, their job is to repel Sato's flood phenomenon, his IBMs of the flood. Yeah, they have to repel those things with their guns, and Ko and Reiji have to be on the front lines because they're the two Ajins. They can be like the meat shields, while the anti-demi-human special forces can shoot all the IBMs down behind Reiji and Ko, just to give them backup from there. Yeah, so that's what they're doing right now, just to protect these civilians, make sure they don't get killed by the IBMs. They're like hoarding, they're flooding them, but pretty much. Yes, and the civilians, they can't escape from the other side since there's a blockade, so they have to just stay there behind, being protected by the anti-demi-human special forces, and as well as Ko and Reiji. Yes, that's what's going on here in this chapter. We don't see anyone else. For some reason, we don't even get to see Tanaka or Izumi anywhere. No, Tosaki isn't here. Like I said before, no Kaito or Kei Nagai. Yeah, I'm waiting for Kaito to finally meet the other main characters, like, you know, Ko Nakano, Reiji Akiyama, Izumi, Tanaka, Tosaki. I really want Kaito to meet all those guys, you know, because it's just interesting. I really want to see their reactions, because even in the anime, Kaito has never met any of those characters, so it would be really cool to see Kaito interact with them in the manga at least. So yeah, I can't wait to see that. Anyways, yes, that's it for the chapter review, everybody. I hope you like this review video, and I hope you like the chapter. If you read it, if you haven't read it yet, go read it. Yeah, go and read it. Like, don't even watch this video yet. Make sure you go read the chapter to come here, then so you can see the review, so you can hear me talk about it, because it really is an interesting chapter. Like, I really like this chapter a lot. Alright, so that's the end of the chapter review, everybody. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Tumblr, and donate to me on PayPal if you wish. It's all in the description below my video. Subscribe to me if you haven't yet. Like my video and comment down in the comment section below. Alright, well, that's it for my video, everybody. Thanks for watching, and bye.